When legal aid is required, what you need most is someone you can trust, as we find out in this next story.
If you're a victim of abuse or have been injured by negligence or medical malpractice, it can be very challenging to find the right team of lawyers to support you. You need a team small enough to give you personal attention and large enough to handle complex litigation.
My brother John and I have always had a very strong commitment to doing the right thing and to helping others. And that commitment is something that we've lived in the 30 years that we've been working together at Bonina Bonina. When people come to our firm, they have generally had something really terrible happen to them. And when people have been injured or damaged by the negligence or wrongdoing of another person, they really need to be able to focus on healing and working on the personal aspects of overcoming what happened to them. And it's important to John and I that we listen, that we find out everything about how what happened to them affected them, and that we then can take the legal part of what needs to be done to help them off of their plate so they can focus on getting themselves better and healing.
For 30 years, I spent much of my time in the courtrooms in New York State trying cases on behalf of victims of medical malpractice and other negligence.
Bonina Bonina was the first in New York City to file a Child Victim Act case in 2019. They're now making it their mission to make sure people who've suffered from this trauma are heard.
When you've endured and survived the type of trauma that victims of child sex abuse have been forced to endure, many survivors have suffered in silence for years, even decades. And there comes a time where you can no longer be silent, where you need to be heard, where you want to be heard. And we want to work with these survivors to help them be heard and help them confront both their abusers and the institutions that enabled them along the way. It's an important story to tell.
Law firms that are very big or have high volume practices don't have the ability to have that relationship with their clients. A lot of their clients are just another file in a filing cabinet. And our clients are people who are very real to us and whose concerns are our concerns and whose struggles we are trying to help them through. John and I, after September 11th, worked as volunteers to represent families for free at the Victims' Compensation Fund. And in order to be able to take part in that massive volunteer effort to help these families, we underwent training that taught us how to work with people who were dealing with severe trauma and had been victims of a criminal act. And that training has really helped us when we've been working with adult survivors of sex abuse.
When a survivor of medical negligence or childhood sexual abuse honors us with their trust to address some of the most serious and awful things that have happened to them in their lives, we consider that a sacred trust, and we want to honor them back by putting in the time, effort, energy, blood, sweat, and tears to make things right for them.
To learn more about how Bonina Bonina is helping victims get what they deserve, visit their website, medlaw1.com, or check out our website, thebalancingAct.com.